with you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo, and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
Different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.
Yeah, what's up?
What's good, man?
Oh, man. Nothing, man. Shoot, I'm chilling, man. What about yourself?
I'm doing well. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I hear you good, man. I hear you A1.
Can you see me good? Am I all right?
I can see you good. Like, yo, you're A1, bro.
Appreciate it, man. You know, we're using this new platform, and there's still some kinks in it, but it has some good benefits. You know, I don't forgot the horn. All right, so now that we got all of that out of the way, this is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's your boy Scotty B. Man, shout out to Mac Squad, Tasha Mac Fitness. I am repping you tonight. Thank you for the just beautiful sweatshirt, man. Definitely my style, man. So nice. Shout out to Tasha, our sister, for looking out.
Absolutely. I'll get my hoodie eventually one day. The you know, this is just crazy. How, you know, you got gear before me, but you know, it's cool. It's cool. But anyway,
oh man, I ain't know that. I got gear before you.
Yeah, you got gear before me, dog.
Oh man. about damn time I got something for you.
All right, so before we get started with sports, how was your week?
It's been pretty good. Pretty good. Not too much going on. I mean, we wrapped up football. I think now everybody's becoming more engaged in basketball and just figuring out what's going on with the season and what direction it's going to go in. What about yourself?
I've been just dandy. No, I've been good. Chilled this weekend. Didn't do too much. You know, we actually, I coach high school football, and you know, we actually have our first game on Monday. So excited about that. It's still a little weird that we're actually playing games, you know, in the spring, I guess winter technically, but it's technically in the spring. It's still a little weird, but it's exciting because you just don't really know, you know, it's almost like the unknown. So and it's nice. So we have our first game Monday. So, you know, preparing for that and, you know, still doing the show, like, you know, and we're a day late. Everybody don't kill us. You know, we needed a little break. And so now we're here. You know,
so let me ask you this. What are some of the differences that you've seen with this football season opposed to some of the football seasons in the past?
It's cold. It is cold. Like, you know, normally during camp, you got on shorts, a t-shirt, and a bucket hat or some sort of hat. Man, now I still have on shorts and sweats. You know, you got on layers on top of layers because, you know, it's windy, and then our field sits up top on the hill. Man, but it's actually pretty cool. You know, right now we got some tough weather, so we, you know, you have to adjust, and that's another thing. You know, normally in the summertime, if it's too hot, you can go inside the gym in the AC. You can do film. Now we have to do Zoom. You know, like today we didn't have physical practice, but we were we had practice on Zoom. So, I mean, it's just some adjustments you have to make. And just like the last year, everything is just you just play it by ear.
Do you have a lot of kids opting out and not playing?
We had a few. We have a lot of kids. The biggest difference in that is that normally, like with our freshmen, but while they're in 8th grade, you will go to the school, you talk to the kids, get them ready for the summertime. They prepare for the football season. But this year, everything was virtual, and so ultimately, our head coach had to go, and some of the other coaches that teach in the school had to pretty much go to like the gym classes virtually and let the kids know whoever wants to play football, come on out and things of that nature. So you kind of don't get the word out the way you really want to, and have the interaction face to face with the kids to try and get them to come play. But so like this year is a little different because we don't have a freshman team. All the freshmen will be playing JV.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, but all in all, these kids are excited. I mean, they haven't gotten to play football ultimately since 2019. So they're excited to play, and they're ready to go. They're ready. And I think we even though it's a condensed season, I see us doing really well. I really do.
So one thing today, you were the first out of all my friends to break the news of Carson Wentz going to the Colts. What are your thoughts on that?
First, I would like to say that no, I'm not gonna rub it in. Pause. I'm just gonna say,
yeah, that's
I told you. I told you that he was out of there. And I felt like Indianapolis was the absolute best spot that Carson Wentz could have gone. I think that everything is lined up for him to succeed. Indianapolis, their coach, as we all know, coached him when he had his best seasons. So now, he's back with that coach with other weapons. They have a top 5 O-line, something that Carson Wentz has not had since he's been in the league. Right? He has a running game that he hasn't had since he's been in the league. I think that he's in a great position right now.
We'll get to that. The Eagles are a clusterfuck. We'll definitely talk about that. But okay, so do you feel like the Eagles got enough in return? So they got, let me see, a 3rd rounder, and it's a 2nd rounder conditional. I think if he plays like 75% of his snaps or something like that, it could turn into a 1st rounder. Or if they make the playoffs and he plays 70% of the snaps, it'll turn into a 1st rounder.
Right.
Was that enough for Carson Wentz?
Well, wait. For on the Eagles' behalf?
Yeah.
No way. So here's the problem. If I'm making it's almost like the first thing I thought about was like when we play fantasy football, right? And my thing is this: if I'm trying to unload a player, I may throw in another player or something like that, or throw something in there where I could get, multiple things back. I feel like getting only 2 picks for Carson Wentz is just dumb. I thought that I'm like, you have offensive line problems, you have DB problems, and somewhat of receiver problems. Even running back, they should have got some sort of player that they can add to that roster, or players that they can add to that roster to make that work. And I felt like getting just 2 picks for Carson Wentz, they rushed that. I mean, they had to. We all knew he was out of there after a while. We knew he was out of there. They didn't get enough. They got. So did they get snaked, as we say when we in our fantasy leagues? Absolutely.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of it, I mean, I think most people would consider this move, and I mean, we've been very critical of Wentz, but let's just put it this way: it puts the Colts as a top 4, the top 6 team in the AFC. I mean, they already were I mean, they were a playoff team. So then you add Wentz in there with his old offensive coordinator, all of the weapons. This team, I mean, they've got the potential to compete in the AFC. I mean, it's just, oh, you hear Ayla in the background?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, here Ayla trying to come in.
Yeah, she's trying to let you know that the Eagles got snaked too. But so here's the thing: Indianapolis has been good, right? They were good with Phillip Rivers and using Jacoby Brissett in spot duty. You may not think it, but I think that Phillip Rivers did good, and I felt like they had a chance to beat Buffalo. You know, you know, if you add Carson Wentz, and if you get half of Carson Wentz from 2017, you're gonna make some noise because you have a great running game.
Yeah, no. If Carson Wentz returns to form, the sky's the limit for the Colts. The problem is Carson Wentz has a hard time staying injury free, and I think that's where his relationship went bad at first with the Eagles was he couldn't stay on the field, and then like you said too, and I give you a lot of credit. That Philadelphia team just didn't have a lot of talent surrounding him. So just combined with the fact that he was hurt for probably the past 3 seasons, and then not having a lot of talent. It was just a recipe for disaster. Now, for the Eagles, what I don't understand is if you got rid of Wentz, why'd you get rid of Peterson? If you're going to get rid of Peterson, why'd you get rid of Wentz? Like, why'd you get rid of, like, both of them? It's just mind-boggling.
So I think the Peterson thing was they were I think the direction that the organization wanted to go was different than what Peterson wanted to do, you know, and I think that's at least that's what they told us, you know, and so Peterson, who I think is a good coach, they just didn't see eye to eye, and they had to let him go. And I mean I knew Carson. Whatever happened with Peterson, I didn't think that affected what's his name at all. I don't think that affected Wentz at all. His decision or the organization's decision on Wentz. I think this was going to happen regardless if Peterson was there or not.
Right, and that's what we're finding out now. Okay, so I agree. That's what they reported, that Peterson wasn't in line with front office. Eagles. But what I was thinking is that they were basically saying, like, look, we're going to get rid of Peterson because Wentz seems to have a problem with him, and we'll see what else we have in him before we actually get rid of him. But it looks like they're just like, you know what? We're going full rebuild. We'll bring in the new coach. We'll go with Jalen Hurts. If things don't work out with Jalen Hurts, we'll draft somebody. We'll bring in a free agent, and we'll just build our team that way. Which, I mean, is fine. It's just a little surprising.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I knew they were going to be in rebuild mode anyway. Let me not say I knew. I just had a feeling. I didn't think the team was that good anyway. I honestly think that Wentz carried them. What was it? 2 years ago when they went 9-7. If they didn't have Wentz, they probably would have been a 4-win team. You know, So I felt like, of course, the quarterback is going to get most of the blame. And boy, oh boy, Philadelphia will turn on you in a heartbeat. I mean, and to see the fans talk about Wentz the way they did towards last year, and not give him more, I guess, respect. You know, I think it was kind of, you know, it was Philly fans being Philly fans. They was doing what they do, and I mean, it is what it is. But I think he's in a better situation now. I feel like Wentz has the potential to do a lot of positive things in Indianapolis.
If you're J.J. Watt, you've been released from the Texans, and this happened within the past week. We didn't get a chance to discuss it because it hadn't happened yet last week. and you're looking at possible suitors, right? So right now they're saying that Buffalo, Tennessee, Cleveland, Steelers, and possibly the Colts are at the top of his list.
Mm-hmm.
Is the Colts a viable destination now if you're J.J. Watt, or do you just go on to somebody else?
The Colts, absolutely. I mean, the Colts has a really good defense.
I mean, you pair them up with Greg Buckner. I mean, it's.
I'll tell you what. If the Colts get J.J. Watt somehow, they're definitely going to win that division easily, and they can advance in the playoffs. Where would they advance? I don't know, but they can advance in the playoffs. If you add those two guys to the team that they pretty much already had, well, I mean, how is that hurting? I think that's.
I don't think it's hurting either. But okay, so let me ask you, right? So you're J.J. Watt, and
right.
You've just been released, and you had your pick of the litter, like you could go anywhere. What do you think the best situation is for him?
I know a lot of people are saying
Cleveland.
Pittsburgh. No, well, a lot of people are saying Pittsburgh because of his brothers. I don't think that's really a good. I think that's a nostalgic thing. I think if he was on his way out of the door, but I think J.J. Watt's going to play another probably 4 years, maybe even 5, right? And I think maybe in year 4 or 5, you go to Pittsburgh with your brothers. But like Cleveland is ideal. This may sound crazy, but San Francisco is ideal. I haven't heard people talk about it, and I don't think that's on the radar. But I mean, they did lose Buckner, and if they're getting Bosa back with the rest of those guys on the D line, and you put him on the inside, man, I mean, there's a lot that can happen there, and that would be really scary. that would be really scary to see J.J. Watt in San Francisco or Santa Clara.
I think we need to have Bosa and some sort of trade talks for Deshaun Watson, but that's just my personal opinion.
Well, we'll get to Deshaun Watson in a moment because you just wow. But
yeah.
So where do you think is an ideal fit for JJ?
I think you said it. You look at Pittsburgh, right? Yeah, I know he might want to play with his brothers, but we don't know what they're going to do at the quarterback position. We don't know if they're going to bring Big Ben back. The GM, he spoke about it the other day, and it just kind of seemed like he was just on the fence. Like it was a lot of lip service. So you really don't know what the Steelers are going to do. Cleveland, I mean, Myles Garrett and everything that we saw, I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, that team did come together, and that team is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the AFC. Kansas City is a good situation for them. I mean, they're the hottest team. They are going to continue to be the hottest team for a while. So if he's looking to play for a surefire contender, it's hard to leave Kansas City out. So the Titans thing, he's got ties with Mike Vrabel. That was his defense coordinator when he was with the Texans. So a lot of people are talking about the Titans. A lot of people are talking about Buffalo. If I'm Watt, I think I got to go with Kansas City.
Kansas City makes a lot of sense, for the fact that he's trying to win a championship. I mean, there's no guarantee that Kansas City is going to get there next year, right? But I'm sure that they had they're the favorites. Now they'll probably be the favorites for the next few years. I want to go back to this Cleveland thing because could you imagine if he goes to Cleveland and has to play against his brothers twice a year? Could you imagine? It wouldn't be Thanksgiving dinner, but could you imagine? New Year's in the Watt household.
Oh yeah, that'd be ugly. But I think right now, just looking at everything, I think Cleveland is in a win now scenario. And what I mean by that, I don't mean that they're not going to ever win, but right now, and you said it on numerous times, that team has all the pieces right now to where they could be a legitimate contender. So why not go all in and get a J.J. Watt and get a couple other pieces to see if you can push for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And it may not even cost you that much.
Right. I don't think it will. I don't think it'll cost them that much either.
So, all right. So let's get Deshaun Watson. I know that there's been rumors, and you know we heard Miami, we heard the Jets. I think people said something about San Francisco,
Carolina.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go. So now Carolina. So we all know that Deshaun Watson had a trade clause, and Carolina said we will give you what they say three ones. Something else, a pickup truck, and Christian McCaffrey. I said, wait, what? Christian McCaffrey? First of all, if I am Houston, of course I would say yes. But if I'm Deshaun Watson, who has a no trade, I'm saying no way. And I would rather them give up 5 number ones than give up Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, so I'm with you on that. But I guess like what Carolina is looking at is McCaffrey had an injury-plagued season to where he was just it's hard to bet that he's going to return back to full form. So I think what they're thinking is we need to do whatever we can do to get this deal done. They're looking long term, and you look at their division, right? You got Brady, Ryan, and Brees. Eventually, Brady is going to have to retire. Drew Brees, we're probably going to see him retire this year. Matt Ryan, after next year, his contract is up, and I think Deshaun Watson could beat Matt Ryan twice a year if he needs to. So they're looking at it like if we can get our quarterback of the future, why not go all in? They've got better receivers than Houston had this year. I mean, I think Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore are pretty solid receivers, and Deshaun Watson was throwing them the ball. And then hopefully, like I said, they're not dumb enough to put Christian McCaffrey in that deal, but maybe the Texans are thinking Christian McCaffrey has to be in the deal for us to give up Deshaun Watson. If he has to be in the deal, then I give him up. The guy, I forget his name, Mike Davis, the running back. Mm-hmm. I mean, he got pretty good production. It wasn't Christian McCaffrey numbers, but if I get the opportunity to bring in Deshaun Watson, yeah, I can part with Christian McCaffrey.
I don't know, man. If I am Deshaun Watson, I'm saying no. I'm saying no. I'm not accepting that deal. I wouldn't do it. I'm sorry. I would block it and say, nah, I'm cool on that. Because I need all the I want all the help I can get. You know, he already lost DeAndre Hopkins, and nah, man, no way, Jose.
Nah, so here's the thing, right? Carolina and with David Temple, it seems like it's starting to be run like a good organization. Mm-hmm. The team, yeah, Carolina's not that good, but I've got more confidence in Carolina than I do Houston. And if I'm Deshaun Watson, I'm looking at, I would rather go to Carolina than the Jets. I mean, the Jets is a terrible situation, but I keep hearing Deshaun Watson to the Jets. I'm just like, maybe I'm the only one that's thinking this, but the Jets isn't too far of as bad of an organization as the Texans are.
I think it's a little different though now. I mean, so the difference between the Jets and the Texans is one, they got the number 3 pick. They got the number 2 pick. But I mean, they have a ton of money. So you think that free agent was like, you don't think Galladay and Juju and some of those other receivers are going to want to go to New York to play with Deshaun Watson and some of those other high profile free agents? And it's New York. So they have I think they have they're in the top 2 or 3 in terms of salary that in terms of money that they can spend. So why not? New York is not a bad. And then he has a coach that he relates to and that he can vibe with. I mean, I think that he's gonna end up in Miami, and I think Miami is gonna they're gonna put some sort of package together to get trade Tua and some other pieces and some other draft picks, the number 3 pick and things of that nature. Now, if he goes to Miami, I mean, Jesus Christ, they're going to have a shot at defeating. I mean, at winning the AFC East.
Oh yeah, definitely. Him and Josh Allen, they'll be battling back and forth for years.
He's better than Josh Allen. There's nothing about. There's no whom.
No.
Don't even do this, man.
It's an argument. It's a debate.
Yeah, let's debate it. We're here.
It's a debate.
I want to hear you convince me that Josh Allen is a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson. I want to hear this.
I don't think I can convince myself, but let's just not talk is not that big of a gap. Let's not act like Josh Allen. Yo, Josh Allen's a baller, man.
I'm not saying he's a scrub, and I'm not saying that he's not a baller. All I'm saying is Josh Allen ain't better than Deshaun Watson.
Well, not many people are better than this.
And they're not even in the same class. Let me add that.
Come on, now this is real disrespectful. That's just real disrespectful. They're not in the same class?
They're not in the same class, though.
Okay. So let's define this, right? Who is in Deshaun Watson's class? Let me get a better understanding of that.
Mahomes is in a class of his own. Mahomes right now is in a class of his own, right?
Okay, Mahomes in a class of his own.
But he's there with the A-Rods. I'll put Mahomes, A-Rods, Wilson, and I'll even put Breeze and Brady are a little different because they're so much older than everybody, right?
Just take Breeze and Brady out of it. So you got A-Rod and Mahomes and Deshaun.
A-Rod, Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, and
Russell
Wilson. Those are top guys.
Okay, so then you're saying that the next tier would be Josh Allen, Lamar,
Baker.
No, he's not in the second tier. Come on now, no.
All right, okay. I mean, I think so, but okay, we'll take him out. We'll take him out.
So you put Dak maybe in the second tier?
Yes, absolutely. Dak. Well, I would take Dak over Josh Allen anyway, but.
Okay,
you're gonna call me a homer if I say that. That's why I didn't even say anything about that. And again, I'm not saying that Josh Allen isn't a top guy, right? He's not, but again, he's not better than Deshaun Watson.
So I'll put Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson in my top tier. So I got A-Rod, Mahomes, Russell, Josh, and Lamar. Those are my top 5.
And no Watson?
Huh?
And no Watson?
I said Watson. I thought I said Watson.
Oh no. Well, I see what you're
saying. Yeah. I mean, he's with those guys. I think that group of guys, to me, that's the top of the NFL right now.
And I've said this before. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. And anybody in the comments, if you wish to comment, I will let everyone see it. If if you switch Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson, Kansas City is still the best team in the NFL. And they still win those Super Bowl, and they still win the Super Bowl, and may even win this year's Super Bowl. You know, but yeah. So Deshaun Watson is that good.
So I've always had problems with that argument, right? I think Mahomes is just better than Deshaun. I don't know. I think Deshaun is good. I mean, he's great. He's great. Generational talent. But I don't think he's interchangeable with Mahomes. I think Mahomes is just in a different stratosphere. That's just always been my take on it. And I've heard you say that quite a few times, to where if you take Patrick Mahomes off of the Chiefs and you put Deshaun Watson there,
they still winning. They are still winning. I'm sorry, they're still winning. Now let me go back to what I just said. I don't think there's too many teams winning with when you got both your your starting tackles out and you already hurt yourself. Yeah. So yeah, I will. If you put Deshaun Watson on the Chiefs, they still winning. They still winning a lot. They're still winning.
They're still winning, but I don't know if they're.
And they still win that Super Bowl, and they still they still go to the Super Bowl.
Okay, I mean, Mahomes, like I said, man, I put him, I rank him at a different level. Deshaun Watson, or regardless, and we can agree here, right? I think, and as a 49er fan, I feel like we need to be doing everything we can to get into the talks for Deshaun Watson. I think the Carolina Panthers and the Jets and Miami and whoever, if he's out there and he wants to trade and you have the resources to get him, I think you should go get him. So I think we're in agreement.
I agree. So let's get to the winner of the week.
All right.
No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner.
I was surprised you played it, but you did, and it didn't cause as many problems. All right, so my winner, I want to definitely segue into something, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it. But my winner of the week this week is the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't know if everybody heard Draymond Green's rant about how they're treating Andre Drummond with sitting him before they get a deal done, but I do feel that is disrespectful. I feel that they need some of these NBA teams have to remember that these players are human beings, and just to do something like that is just downright disrespectful, man. And it just sends opinions to people about your organization that it's why you can't win without LeBron, because you're just a poorly ran organization that doesn't respect your players. Ant, man, what are your thoughts about that? I know we're going to talk more about what Draymond Green said, but I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I think that is I think it is messed up. I think that any team that does that is pretty messed up. Because it's the what's the word that I'm looking for? It's, I don't want to say unfair, the double standard. The double standard that the organizations show, and the media, and the media, because when the fact that they sit in this guy and he's fully healthy, and it's just, I'm trying to be as polite as I possibly can, but you kind of could tell, that's why certain organizations are what they are, right? Because they just do wrong by people often, all the time. They're just wronging the athletes that they have, and it pretty much shows when you don't win and things of that nature, is because, and that's why you're so poorly run, is because ultimately that karma comes back and bites you in the ass.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, the Cleveland Cavaliers would have been better off just saying, like, look, Andre Drummond, we don't even want you at the facility. We got a trade going on. We're going to move in a different direction. You don't have to come to practice. You don't have to come to any of the games. And we'll get a deal worked out. We're in trade talks. It is what it is. Or just outright buy out the guy. You know what I mean? Like if that's the way you feel and you don't want to play him and you don't want to and you're moving in the direction of Jared Allen, just buy him out and let him go about his business. But for them to continue to just drag this on and tell him he's got to sit there, he's got to go out, he's got to warm up with him, he's got to sit on the bench. I just thought it's a huge double standard. And, I applaud Draymond Green for bringing that up and bringing up how the James Harden situation and how he was pretty much crucified by the media and by just everybody for requesting the trade, but an organization could do something like this and nobody even mentioned anything.
Right. And that's another problem that I have is because we talked Kyrie Irving a few weeks ago and how and we was talking about his mental health and things of that nature. But people are crazy if they don't think that things like this affect guys' mental health. Because at the end of the day, these guys are still humans. They're still grown men. So that stuff still affects them in certain in different ways. That none of us will really understand because we haven't really gone through something like that. So for organizations, I think they need to be held accountable. Because if let's just say Andre Drummond, we'll use Andre Drummond since that's what we're talking about. Let's say he wasn't on the trading block, right? And he said, "You know what? I'm tired. Nothing really hurts. I'm just tired. I don't feel like playing right now. I want to take a break. I want to take a break and go on vacation with my family because I miss them." He would be putting in. Man, he would be thrown all over. They would freaking judge the crap out of him and be like, "What? You're getting paid all this money to play a game? Like, what do we normally hear? You're getting paid all this money to play a kid's game, or you're doing this. Just do your job. Do your job, and blah blah blah." And now this guy wants to do his job, and they're like, "Nah, we're gonna trade you. So sit down and shut up." And make sure you're healthy. Don't get hurt.
Let me ask you this. Right? All right. So we're in agreement that this situation needed to be called out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think? And I'm just putting this out in the air. Do you think that Draymond Green was maybe lobbying for Andre Drummond if he gets bought out to maybe come to the Warriors?
Absolutely. What? Absolutely. And you know who probably told him to do that? You know who probably told him to do that?
His front office.
No, not even him. His agent. We know who his agent is. Yeah. Look, I get it, and that makes listen. Andre Drummond is a baller. He's a walking double-double, and not no 10 and 10 double-double. He can honestly get you 20 and 15 a night, without a problem. So absolutely, and I tell you what, it's smart, but in that sense, it's he's right though, And the way that James Harden got thrown under the bus, and that situation was a little different, but again, he wasn't happy in Houston no more. He didn't want to be there anymore. And just because you're getting paid X amount of money, X amount of dollars, don't mean that you can be treated any sort of way.
Yes.
So yeah.
So a couple of things. Let's see my homeboy Vel in the comments. He actually told me when Detroit had drafted Drummond, he was like, Drummond's going to be really, really, really good. And he was the first person to even tell me before he even went to the NBA. So the shout out to Vel for that. Yeah, you're right. I do feel like they're lobbying for Draymond Green, But it brings me to the question. Andre Drummond. It brings me to the question: what situation, if you're Andre Drummond, is the better situation for you? Like, where do you go if you're bought out?
Well, if he's bought out, I think he's going to get traded. But if he's bought out, the best place for him to go, honestly, I mean, the Lakers would if he goes to the Lakers. If he goes to the Lakers, man, it's like, oh my!
They could use him. They could use him.
What?
They could
Especially
use him
right now, and AD's out. And listen, Andre Drummond is a beast, man. And I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he just had like 20 and 20 like a week ago or a week and a half ago. The Lakers, you got the Heat, like, because the Heat need depth at the 5 spot. You got the Clippers, I guess, but Golden State. I tell you what, if Golden State gets Drummond, they setting up to do some big things next year when they get Clay back. And I know people talk about, Clay might not be the same. Listen, shooters gonna shoot. Like, no matter, like, ain't nothing wrong with his shoulders, his arms, his wrists. You know, so we have somebody say Boston, and I wouldn't go to Boston. They would have to get rid of some of those pieces to go to Boston. I would not go to Boston. I think Boston is an average team that is showing right now. You know, like, I think they're at 500, and they have Brown and Tatum, but those other pieces is like, I mean, and I guess I would keep Smart, but those other pieces is like, yeah, it is what it is. I wouldn't go to Boston. I wouldn't go to Boston. Boston, they need a point guard. They got some guys in the front court. Drummond is not an alpha, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. I guess I'll post it on here. Drummond is not an alpha. Let's not get too carried away. Drummond is not an alpha. Ain't too many bigs in the league right now that are alphas anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, man, best rebounder and scoring threat. There's not too many big men that do what he does right now. I would like to see him. I think he possibly could be a fit in Portland. I like what Dame Lillard is doing while CJ McCollum there. I think they're a piece away. I mean, the Lakers is a no-brainer. I think the Warriors, I mean, right now they're teetering right around that 8th and 7th position. If they get Drummond, that just gives them more ammunition to make a run this year. Like you said, go ahead.
No, I was just saying one team that we both left out of there that will really could use somebody like Drummond would be Phoenix.
Phoenix got Ayton though. I mean, okay. they could use Drummond, but
he doesn't have to score.
I mean, any team would be lucky to have him. I mean, any team that's contending, or even so. Here's the thing about the Miami thing. I wouldn't go to Miami this year if I was bought out, but Miami is a better long-term situation for it. I think that Miami right now, for them to compete for a title, I don't know if they're totally out of it, but I just don't see them as one of the top teams this year competing for that title. But I think over time, him with Bam, with Butler, with Hero, I mean, there'll be a force to reckon with. I don't. Yeah. Same with Milwaukee. I don't think, and we talked about it earlier this year. I just don't think Milwaukee has enough. And right now, they're on a terrible losing streak to where Giannis isn't panicking, but I am. I mean,
I don't think anyone should panic right now. So I'll say this: I don't think that Milwaukee should panic. I don't think that Miami should even panic yet. I think that they should just they need to turn it around and win a few games in a row and do that. But I don't think I don't think there's not a team in the East that should panic right now. Not one of them. I think all of them still have a shot. All of them. Even the Pistons.
The Pistons and the Wizards. So the Pistons, the last time I looked, I think they had 7 wins, and I believe the Wizards had 8 wins. And I believe right now, to get into the playoffs, you need somewhere around 11 wins, I think. So you're right. Every team is legitimately in it. But shout out to my Knicks. Shout out to my Knicks in 6th place. And we can use Andre Drummond too. So shout out to them.
I got you right now, Scott. I got you right now, man. Those for your 6th place Knicks. They're gonna have an All-Star this year.
Hey, Julius Randle is playing out of his mind.
Most improved player this year?
I don't. So here's the thing about Julius Randle, right? He has put up solid numbers for the last couple of years. I just don't think he's ever really gotten the credit that he actually deserves. So I don't know if he's going to get most improved player, but he's been balling, man. He has been balling.
Every meaningful stat for Julius Randle is up this year. I feel like he's the front runner for most improved, and especially if the Knicks make it to the playoffs, he's going to win most improved player of the year, and he should. He should be All-Star. He should win Most Improved, and whatever else. I ain't no Knicks fan, but I will say that the NBA is a better place when the Knicks are better. I
mean, we're the most valuable franchise. In the NBA. Yeah, in the NBA, the Knicks are the most valuable franchise
over the Lakers.
Yeah, they're over the Lakers. Yep, just came out, and I believe it's
I'll say this, Scotty. I'll say this. It's been like we've been recording the show for quite some time, man. And to see you smile and talk about the Knicks, man, I gotta get some more horns, man. Because I don't think I've ever seen this. The last 5 years. And to see you smile and talk about the Knicks, man. Because I tell you what, I might just go and post it. I might go and post that winner of the week when you gave the Knicks winner of the week. Oh my, that is my all-time favorite off the record moment is when you gave the Knicks winner of the week, because when we got to the studio that day, you were like, it was like you were seeing red. I never seen you like this. You were so upset, like you were red. You were literally red. You were so angry. You didn't even want to talk about anything else. You're like, let's do the winner of the week at the beginning. I said, whoa. So it is great. It is great to see you happy talking about your 6th place Knicks, and they can still move up. And all jokes aside, they can still move up. And I do think that they probably will make one move. Whatever it is, they'll make one move before the trade deadline, which is coming up soon. I think it's like in a month or so.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. You're right. I think we will make one more move. Like Spike Lee said, because he had a similar smile on his face today. We just got to crawl before we walk. Progress for anybody. I mean, anybody that's watching the Knicks right now, you say, you know what? It may not be primetime TV, but it's better than we were last year. And it seems like we finally got a group of guys in there that know what they're doing. For the past 20 years, man, it's been a terrible act to watch, man. It doesn't matter who we pay. They get in there, they screw up the team even more, and it's been a joke. So it's nice to see just some of the younger players are getting better, and it's nice to see that Randle, man, he's box office, man. He is box office.
You know what the Knicks did, man? You know what the Knicks did? They went and got the man. They went and got the brothers, and they made that happen, man. I'm proud. They got World Wide West. He's like their advisor. He's like their what do you call it? Their what's the guy that the logo? Their golly.
Jerry West.
That's it. So I'll say this, man. I don't know. I guess Leon Rose. I guess he's a white guy. He's white, but he's been around brothers a lot. So look, man. Hey, look, man. They did the right thing. They did the right thing, man. And they're making a lot of the right moves. We'll see. I think the Knicks can move up to possibly a 4th seed. It's possible, man. And then we'll see what happens once the playoffs come. I mean, it ain't gonna matter. Ain't nobody beating Brooklyn in the East.
So let me ask you this, right? And I think I thought that this guy was going to be good, but I didn't know how good he was going to be. Doesn't LaMelo Ball look like the rookie of the year? And maybe he should have been drafted number 1 overall.
Hold off on that number 1 overall. That Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards has improved since he's been in the starting lineup. I mean, it's hard to debate that he's averaging his 17 and he's balling up there in Minnesota. They're not winning, but he's balling.
Correct.
LaMelo,
yeah.
LaMelo out there cooking. LaMelo is out there cooking.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do think like right now he's probably the rookie of the year, right? And I wouldn't be mad at that if he wins rookie of the year. But the number 1 overall, we'll see. I don't know. Right now, like you can't redraft right now because it's year 1. But he's at number 3. I would say number 2. Like if I had to, I would take him at number 2 than
Wiseman.
Yeah. Well, no. You know why? Because it would have been hard for him to play. It would have been dumb to pick Ball with the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Wiseman is a better fit for the Warriors than LaMelo would be. And people are gonna have to, because when they talk about this class, and let's say 15 years, and LaMelo is a perennial all-star, and Wiseman, who could be a perennial all-star as well, but he may not be as good as LaMelo. They're gonna be like, well, they should have. The Warriors are kicking themselves, and they can't say that because they had Steph and Clay. Clay's not playing, but you still got Oubre and all those other pieces, all those other guards that they have there. So I see that, but yeah, LaMelo, he's probably gonna win rookie of the year. But Anthony, people need to not sleep on Anthony Edwards. We'll see what happens with them because, like you said, they're not winning, and that plays a part. That plays a part. I mean, they're in the Western Conference. The Hornets in the East, so it's easier for them to get wins. And the Hornets got some good wins.
So let me ask you this, right? Right now, the Jazz hold the best record in the NBA.
Right.
Are the Jazz solid enough? Like, do you feel like the Jazz are the best team?
No. Well, record, yeah, they're the best team. Do I think that they are going to win the championship? No.
Nah, I don't think anybody really thinks the Jazz are going to win the championship, but I will say they're much improved, and Mike Conley is playing a lot better his second year in that offense. Denver has started out a little slow, and I know the boy in Dallas, man, he is phenomenal. Luka is phenomenal, but Dallas isn't playing that well as a team. So it's like they need to put some more pieces around them. Phoenix has been a pleasant surprise, which I shouldn't say a pleasant surprise because the way that they started off in the bubble last year and then adding Chris Paul, I could definitely see what they're building.
Yeah, that was a bad loss against the Nets, though. I mean, you have that type of lead in the fourth, especially. You can't, and there's no KD or Kyrie playing. You got to win that game.
Well, Harden started cooking, didn't he?
Yeah. and you know what? Let's talk about the Nets real quick before we get out of here. I think people need to start putting some more respect on Harden's name. I know the way it ended in Houston wasn't ideal, but Harden, man, I mean, he makes the difference for that. When he plays, they win, you know.
Right.
And with the three of them, it's gonna be tough for anybody in the East. You know, I still have the Lakers winning the championship this year, but I can definitely see Brooklyn winning it next year and maybe the year after that.
Yeah, definitely.
So
we got a press conference coming up.
Yeah, we got a Battlegrounds press conference. That's gonna be fun. I don't know if Mario is watching right now. He's probably preparing himself. So he got some questions to answer, and we'll talk to him.
So let me ask you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna ask you, and we hadn't talked about it. Do you think the BGCO should have stayed out of this investigation, or you would have liked for them to have been part of it?
No, they shouldn't have stayed out of it. No way.
You don't think we owe that to one of our biggest allies?
No, he ain't my ally. He may be your ally. He ain't my ally. that's my guy. That's my guy.
Oh man.
The Battlegrounds,
Oh man, so I will say this, right? You don't want to be on Quintina bad side. So like when Quintina, Chink, and some of the other forces, when they combine, man, it's you gotta call fate. You might need fate, man.
I don't think you should do that either. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? But now, shout out to all our folks, man. That John, we have fun with it. We have fun with it, and we'll see what happens. But we're gonna have a little bit more fun tonight. Yeah, man. I think we're just about done.
Yeah, definitely.
So next week, I'm sorry, not next week. So in March, we got some things lined up. It is National Women's Month, so we'll have some special guests. There's still gonna be a lot. There's a lot more NFL talk because these quarterbacks, and mark my words, Scotty, Dak is gonna get signed to his long-term deal. Dak is gonna get his money this offseason.
I hope so, man. I hope so.
For my sanity and for the sake of this show, Dak better get his money.
Nah, he needs his money, man. They need to pay him. Pay the man.
All right, man. So, this is Off the Record. I am Anthony Adebayo.
It's boy Scotty B.
We out of here.
Peace.
Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance? Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sports.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.